Sewjo is what us sewers often refer to as the motivation to sew. So when one lacks Sewjo, that means that essentially they are lacking the motivation to make things. I, being a part of the latter group, am desperately trying to reclaim my Sewjo and my passion and my love for sewing. And I think the best way to do that is to do it in true Julie, which is I, fashion, which is cramming in a bunch of projects in a small window of time. So welcome to the vacation capsule sewing series. I have a bunch of projects and fabric that I've pulled out, so we are going to talk through each project, the inspiration for the project, what I'm thinking, what I'm hoping I'll get in the end, and then we will start the prep work. So I'm going to talk about these projects in no particular order in terms of like what I want to sew first versus what I want to sew last. Just going to go through what I have laid out on my table. This fabric is a home decor weight fabric that I picked up at a fabric sale the American Sewing Guild was hosting. It's really thick, and so because it's really thick, I want to treat it sort of like I would treat a denim in the summer. And one of my favorite dresses to sew in denim in the summer is my Anna dress sewing pattern. So that is what she is going to be. Now I also want to get two other pieces out of this. I will pop up the inspiration picture, but I saw this picture and I was kind of like, I want to go with that vibe, the overly matchy vibe of it all. I also want to sew a bucket hat. I'm thinking for the hat, I want to use Thalia's thread, the hat pattern. I think it's called like the wave hat or something like that. She did a version of the hat where she sewed two snaps on the side of the hat and then she pinned it up. So it kind of had the shape of like a Western hat. I really love that silhouette of a hat. So I'm thinking I would like to sew that hat with it. And then I also want to make a matching bag. Now, in the inspiration picture, the bag is a larger style tote bag. I'm not a tote bag girl, but I do have this pattern which has a tote bag-ish bag on it. So right there, view E, that bag is nice and large and in charge, and if I can get that bag out of this fabric, then I would like to do that. Next, I have this fabric which I also got from the American Sewing Guild. It is this gorgeous crepe back satin in this zebra print. It's really thick and really luscious and just feels super soft to the touch, but has enough weight to where I know when I'm sewing it, it's not going to be super slippery and super shifty, which is ideal for me. With this, originally I was thinking I wanted to do the Vicky Sews Almia dress. However, I really like this fabric and I don't know how that dress would look on me. I am going to make that dress and we'll get to those plans in a little bit, but I think I've changed my mind and now I want to do a 3-piece like vacation set. So I want to do an oversized button down, a pair of floaty elastic waist shorts with some inseam pockets, and then I also want to do like a little halter top. So for the halter top, I am going to use this pattern, which is Simplicity 7523. It is another vintage pattern. And for the top, I want to go with this view. I have made this once before. I really like it. The back is completely open, which I don't know how I feel about. So I'm thinking of making some modifications to the pattern. One being to lengthen the front because it is pretty short, as you can see, and I just would like it a smidge longer. And then for the back, so that's what it looks like in the back. And I'm thinking of having a panel back there, like a sheared panel instead of a tie in the back. For the oversized button down, I am in between two patterns. So I have my tried and true, which is Simplicity 9708. I've sewn this pattern at least 4 times. I love it. It's super easy. I feel like it is a very like entry level beginner button down pattern. It does not have a collar stand. The button or the cuff placket on the arm is sewn on in a very simplistic way. So I really like this pattern. However, lately I've been wanting a little bit more tailoring to my button down shirts. So I'm thinking of this one, which is Nomi 2052. It's the Beauty J'adore pattern. And I really like this. The thing I like most about this is the sleeve has a double cuff situation. I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera. I think that's like a really chic, really fun, really interesting detail. However, I have seen several people sew this top, and on all of the people, it does not fit like an oversized top. It's a little bit more fitted than I would like for my button down to be. I want this to be an oversized, very floaty, very hanging away from the body top. I want to be able to throw this on over other things, and if the sleeves are a little bit too fitted, then that may not work. So I could go all the way up to a 24 and see if that gives me the fit that I'm looking for. I mean, I am known to thrift a shirt like multiple sizes larger than myself, so that could work as well. And maybe if I do go this route, I'll end up doing that. If I get into it and I'm just wanting something quick and safe, if I'm crunched for time, then I'm definitely gonna go with 9708. The next fabric I have pulled for a dress is this fabric. I actually have a dress that I've made out of this exact fabric, and I adore how it behaves. I think it is a cotton poplin, but I think there's more polyester in it than cotton. And for me, that works well because it is less prone to wrinkles. It's a very easy fabric to wear, and it's lightweight enough, but it's crisp, so it has a good amount of body to it. I think this would be perfect for the Vicky Sew's Lexi dress. I already have a Lexi dress in a black linen. I want another one in a lighter color. I like this color, I like this fabric, so I pulled this fabric for this dress. Now we're gonna jump back to the Vicky Sew's Almia dress. Like I said, I've been going back and forth about this dress because I don't know how I feel about the silhouette or how it will look on me. I am a size 16, 18, definitely on the plus size, curvy side of things. I am not straight up and down, and so sometimes when it comes to bias cut dresses, the way that they fall, they tend to cling to my midsection, and I don't love that as a concept. Or if I get the pattern to not cling to my midsection, then it's too loose around the midsection and it still needs a little bit of cinching. So here's what I'm thinking. I pulled this fabric because one of the Instagram posts of someone who had sewn this dress, she had a very similar fabric to this, and I really loved the way that she made the dress because I feel like it brought it more into the everyday realm of things. It didn't feel so special occasion or like a going out dress, but instead something that you could put on any given day, and if you wanted to dress it up, you could dress it up, or if you wanted to keep it casual, you could keep it casual. This fabric also reminds me of like old school Missione fabrics, and I just think it's super fun. Now I have 3 yards of this fabric, which I believe is enough for the dress, but I only have 2 and something yards of this fabric, which I don't think is enough for the dress. Okay, so the dress calls for 3 3/4 yards of fabric. I don't have that. No. Calls for about 3.5 yards of fabric. I have 3 yards of this fabric, and I have 2.5 yards of what I need for the lining because this is sheer. Will that be enough? I don't know. However, maybe it will, because I do not plan on cutting this dress on the bias. I plan on just using the straight of grain. So I'm thinking that should save me anywhere from a half a yard to almost a yard of fabric. As for the lining, so long as this part is lined and below, like slightly below my undies, like, you know, my butt is lined, I'm good with that. I'm fine with the lining being shorter on the inside of the dress than the actual dress itself. So I think I can make it work out of these 2 fabrics. The next pattern that I want to make is the Vicky Sew's Julia dress. Now this was something that I wanted to make, I believe, last summer, and I never got around to it. However, when I was looking at inspiration and pinning things on my Pinterest board, the backless dress kept coming up for me. Sometimes I feel very uncomfortable in my own skin. However, one day, as I love to tell people, gravity is going to do its thing, and this nice taut skin will begin to hang a little bit looser and a little more free. And so while we are in this day where she's taut and she's tight, rolls and all, we're gonna appreciate the body we have, because that's all I can do. So I'm gonna sew a backless dress this summer. That dress is going to be the Julia dress. This fabric I also got from the American Sewing Guild fabric sale, and it is actually a border print, which I think would be so perfect for the Julia dress. Okay, so as you can see, the top of it is black and then it goes into this print on the bottom. So I'm thinking that obviously I would do the bodice portion of the dress in just the black fabric and then have the rest of it down at the bottom where it goes into the border print for the skirt. And I think it's going to look so chic because of the weight of the fabric. I know that the skirt is just going to hang really nicely because it's a little bit heavier, and so I think it's going to be, in my mind's eye, this is going to be the perfect pairing for that fabric. I am very excited about this one. And then like I said, she's backless, she has little ties in the back, so even though this is a thicker fabric, I feel like having the flowiness of the skirt and the openness of the back is really going to make it just perfect for summer. Next, I have a set that I want to make. I have this fabric, which is definitely a rayon. Got this from Fabric Warehouse. I have 5 yards on here, and then I have another 2 yards separately because initially I wanted to do a set with my Jameson skirt pattern. However, I have since changed my mind. So now I want to do a pair of wide leg elastic waist pants. I drafted some in the beginning of this year around January. Went through like literally 5 drafts of this pants pattern to get it to what I feel like is just close enough to just right for me to be okay with it, because I can't fathom at this moment doing another draft. All that to say, I got this fabric. I am going to do the elastic waist wide leg pants, and then for the top I want to do the Vicky Sew's Frina top. This is another pattern that I purchased, I think, last summer. Definitely wanted to sew it up, was super inspired by it. I feel like this top would be something that would last in my wardrobe for a very long time. Next, I have this fabric. This is a cotton. Also got this from the American Sewing Guild. This one was a little bit more pricey. I think this one came out to about $5 a yard. I got 6 yards, so I paid like $30 for it. This was the most expensive fabric I got that day, but look, like you can see why. It is absolutely beautiful. It's a cotton. It is also, unfortunately, only 45 inches wide, which kind of breaks my heart, but they're 6 yards. So I feel like it's enough to get a nice dress out of. For this, I want to make the Vicky Sew's Irish dress. I've had this pattern for years, and I have not made it. And so I feel like now is the time, and that is the dress. I just want an easy throw on, pair with a cute pair of sandals and go dress. Also something I can like really just hang out in. A lounge dress. I feel like this would be the perfect house to Target dress. Like, you know that you're not doing much that day, but also if you need to jump up and run errands, you're completely ready. So that is that. Not a lot of like, not a big blurb on that one. I feel like some of these projects I ramble on and on about, and some of them are just pretty straightforward, and I think the concept is there and I don't need to overthink it. So this fabric, the Irish dress pattern. Now, all of those projects that we just went over are things that I want to have done by the time I leave for vacation. But that is going to be it for this video. For my day ones, which are probably those of you who are still left at this point, hello. It has been a while, I know. Where have I been? I've been here, but I have not been making. I haven't been making a lot. I haven't been recording a lot. Long story short, I got to the point to where I was constantly looking at what everyone else was doing, and it made me feel inadequate. It made me feel like my video skills weren't enough, like not necessarily my sewing, because I know that I can sew. Not to be braggadocious, but I can sew better than most. So I've never doubted my ability to sew, but my ability to capture the moment and create content, it was shot. Like, I got into the comparison game, I got into the numbers game, I got into the monetizing of it all and wanting more out of it game. And in the end, obviously that doesn't lead anywhere fruitful. And it just got to the point to where I turned off my camera and I didn't turn it back on. And I've had to do a lot of work internally. Try not to be emotional. I've had to do a lot of work internally to come to terms with life as it is, right? Like, this is my life. It's not perfect, it's not aesthetic, but it's mine. And it's the one that I've created for myself, and it's one that I deeply, deeply enjoy. And it's not going to look like my favorite creator's life, and my production isn't going to look like their production. And that's okay. And maybe my platform will never be as big as anyone else's platform, but I kind of want to just start anew. I want to start afresh. I'm older now than I was when I started this channel, and I'm just in a completely different place. And so there's a large part of me that just kind of wants to shed the skin of the former YouTube channel. Still will be me, but I'm not striving for anything this time. I'll get back to pattern production and making and selling sewing patterns because that is what I love to do. But I don't have any goals for this channel. I think that's the most honest way to put it. I don't have any goals for this channel. I'm just kind of like here. I'm here to share my process. I like to sew. I sew a lot, and I love to talk about sewing with people. I love to share, like, you know, my wins with people and my little tips and my tricks. I like to sew quickly. I'm not somebody who wants to spend 500 years on a project, and I know that that was frowned upon for a while. That was also kind of, that put me in a weird place because I am a fast sewist. I can sew up to 100 things in a year if I really want to. And I know people look at that as like fast fashion and you're overproducing, and it's not really helping with the overconsumption of everything. And so I really had to kind of like work those things out in my head about how I felt about it. I'm not a mass producer of anything, and everything that I make gets donated into tangible hands, shelters, and things of that nature. And so in that aspect, I am a little bit more responsible with what I make, but also if I want to make a lot of stuff, I want to make a lot of stuff. And if I don't, then I don't. And I'm not trying to put myself in a position where I got to the point where I felt guilty for doing so much because of like the state of the world. The world is gonna world. As you can see, it has not gotten better in the 365 that you and I haven't been here. It's gotten worse. And so in light of all of that to say, I've been here, I've been thinking, I've been mulling over my decisions and my goals for this channel. But the Curated Curvy going forward, it will be twofold. It will be the pattern making side of the business, and then it will be the making side. And the making side is not a business. This is a creative hobby. This is where I come to retreat. This is what I do for fun. This is where I get to figure out how I want to express myself and present myself to the world in a very personal and personable way. This is not a business. And for the longest time, the way that I approached my YouTube channel, even though it was never like massively successful, is I wanted it to turn into something that resembled a business. And I know that sounds so simple, but I kid you not, I had myself in a chokehold, feeling like I needed to show up like these other people if people were going to take me seriously. And I'm at the point now in my journey where I don't need anybody to take me seriously. When it comes to pattern production and sewing patterns to sell, I believe my work will speak for itself. When it comes to you and I, this camera and this room, we're just hanging out. We're just shooting the crap. We're making stuff. We're talking about it. We're sharing it. Our highs and our lows are over planning and underproducing. That's what I want this to look like going forward. I just want it to be a situation where I turn on the camera and we make and we chat. I want to explore going live in the future. I've gone live once. I did it with Chris over at Unsocial, and I still think about how much fun I had that day going live with her. So it's definitely something that I want to explore in the future, just like live sewing, hangout sessions. And also this channel's for inspiration. Like, I am here to inspire, to show you what is possible if you want to create a curated wardrobe with your own two hands. All right, that's the end of my rant. That's it for this video. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.